Hey guys, as you know, Robin Williams has passed away, and it's such a shame because he was such an important person in our lives. Many of us grew up watching him during the 90s, and it's so weird to have this man that comedian-wise was amazing, serious role-wise was amazing, and to have him pass away is it is kind of terrifying because it's kind of like stating like, yes, your childhood is gone even more now because Robin Williams has passed away, and that's such a shame. And basically, like, I thought, like, what could I do? I just thought of giving you my top 5 most memorable Robin Williams movies. Now bear in mind, these are not my top 5 Robin Williams movies. They're not the best Robin Williams movies. These are just the movies that really had an impact in my life, and I thought I could share it with you guys. So without further ado, here are my top 5 list. Number 5, Dead Poets Society. This is very interesting because I've never seen Dead Poets Society in one sitting. I watched it many times when I was a kid and teenager, but I never watched it, fully. I watched large portions of it. I have watched the entire film, but I have never seen the film in one sitting. And what I really like about the film is the fact that it is showing us that you can do what you want with your life and there should be no shame in it. And the impact that it can have on kids growing up, force them to do something that they do not like doing at all, just because in terms of money, it will give you more money and it's a more safe job and all that sort of thing. And Robin Williams is that teacher. He teaches us that when you're writing poetry, it's not mathematical as the introduction to poetry states. It's much more than that. It's passion. Without poetry, it's difficult to feel. You're pouring your emotions on paper, and you really feel that with Robin Williams' character. There's such a good role. I think he when I was growing up, I really wanted him to be my teacher at school and teach me all those things. Funnily enough, I did have a teacher that was kind of like that, so that was pretty cool, but he wasn't as funny as Robin Williams is, and I always like the Robin Williams charisma, the whimsical side to him that the film does bring. It's one of those films that really did have an impact in my life growing up. Number 4, Jack. Now this is a weird one because many people hate this film, and I've only watched this film once when I was a kid. And the reason why I'm choosing this film is because Jack was such an important film for me when I was growing up. I watched it once at the movie theater, but I really did feel what Robin Williams' character was feeling. He was basically an adult, but still had the mind of a kid. And he went to school, and he had to be, he wanted to have friends, and the kids didn't want to be his friend because he was an adult. He seemed like an adult, and he was so out of place. And I kind of had that through my childhood, because I didn't live in my native country, and it was difficult to have also friends, and I could relate to him in that way. And even though that movie is very illogical, makes no sense and all that sort of thing, I did connect with the character, and Robin Williams did such a good role. He really made me believe that he was like that, and that's because he's such a great actor besides being a great comedian. Number 3, Flubber. Now this is a film for me that many people hate, but I really liked it when I was growing up because it really did give me such a good time. I watched it in the movie theater first, and then I was basically asking my mom to buy the film, and then she bought the film, and I watched the videotape time and time again. And it's so much fun because I think Robin Williams is like so interesting in that film because he really is able to be such a good comedian and have all this slapstick humor that not many comedians can have. And even though Flubber is an awful film or so bad, and it's a bad remake of the 1961 version and all that sort of thing, it really did connect with me because I really had such a good time. It has so many cheesy moments, but when I was a kid, I loved it. I watched it time and time again, and it made me have such a good time. And basically any problems that I had when I was growing up, I basically threw it all out the window when I was watching that film for just an hour and a half. And it's also fun to have Will Wheaton as your bully in that film and basically getting rid of him thanks to Flubber, this such a cute green blob thing in the film, which I really wanted to have one when I was a kid. So that's why Flubber takes the number 3 spot. Number 2, Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting for me is one of Robin Williams' best film, if not his best. I watched it when I was 19. I went to New York because I wanted to pursue cinema, and during that half year I met really cool people there, and this one good friend really wanted to show me films that had a huge impact on his life, and he showed me Good Will Hunting. And what I really liked about Good Will Hunting is that Robin Williams was being a teacher to me again, as he was in Dead Poets Society, but in this case as a psychologist, really going into the core of the problems of the characters, and in this case Matt Damon, and it's interesting to see a film written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and directed by Gus Van Sant. But for me, what makes the film so wonderful is that Robin Williams is doing a serious role, and for me that was very surprising, and he pulls it off. He's so good in it. The whole story with his wife, being dead because of cancer, and him not regretting it, not one bit, because he loved every moment that he was with her. And he's teaching Matt Damon that idiosyncrasies can be such a fun aspect of being in a relationship. The fact that Robin Williams' wife farted and she woke up with her own fart. That was such an awesome part of the film. But he loved that. He loved that about his wife, and he's teaching that to Matt Damon about Minnie Driver, because basically Matt Damon is really liking Minnie Driver's character, and Robin Williams is teaching Matt Damon that Minnie Driver isn't perfect. She's not perfect. And I know you see her as a perfect, and you don't want to mess that up, but she isn't perfect, and you're not perfect either. The question is if you're perfect for each other, because that's what makes relationships work. It's not both of the people being perfect, it's both of the people not being perfect but being perfect together. And for me that was so interesting. I love that. He taught me so much, and especially with it's not your fault scene, to have somebody in your life telling you that it's not your fault. You need to hear that, because so many times you grow up and many times you think that you were at fault at this, you're at fault at that, and to listen to Robin Williams telling Matt Damon's character that it's not your fault time and time and time again. He was also telling me time and time again that it wasn't my fault. And when I watched it for the first time, I literally got teary-eyed, and it was just such an emotional scene for me, because Matt Damon basically wasn't really able to understand or to figure out that his parents were the biggest problem in his life, and he wasn't able to overcome that. And Robin Williams saying, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, and hugging him out and all that sort of thing. And then you see Matt Damon cry. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those scenes for me that it really did, it really did have a huge impact in my life. It really did teach me a lot, and basically molded the person who I am today. And my number one most memorable Robin Williams movie is Jumanji. Yes, I was very indecisive between Jumanji and Good Will Hunting, but the reason why I chose Jumanji was because a couple months back I watched the film on TV, and I hadn't watched the film like in 10, 12 years, I don't know. It was such a long time since the last time I watched the film. That film, for me, when I watched it again on TV, it made me realize just how important Jumanji really was in my life, in my childhood. I grew up watching that film, and it really holds up today. It's such an amazing film for the time, because the special effects are awesome, they're amazing, the story is so much fun, it has some cheesy moments, but 90s was like that. And it has that, how the 90s films have like the orchestra soundtrack that sometimes nowadays it annoys me a bit, but it really does work. It really does work. And watching Robin Williams doing that role, doing the Alan Parrish role, when he comes back from the board game and he goes into real life and he sees everything, and he sees that time has gone by, and you have this, you have time with him, you breathe with him, and you see that he is very lost, because he wasted a big part of his life being in that board game, and he's meeting these kids. One of them is Kirsten Dunst, so that's funny. That film is the film that it is thanks to Robin Williams, because the story is very interesting, it's very good. It would have always been a good film, but I think it's basically one of the best kids films of all time because of Robin Williams. He does such a good role. He is such a good actor. He knows how to be funny, he knows how to be serious, and you can see that constantly changing in him in this movie. When he meets the girl that he played the board game with when he was a kid, and he sees her when she's an adult, there are such intense scenes together. There really is character development in this film. And to see a film that I grew up with, which is Jumanji, grew up with because when you're a kid, you like anything, basically. You don't really think if it's good or bad, you just like it. But now, being 25 and watching that film again on TV and realizing how good that film is, for me, that was mind-blowing, because it's one of those moments where you realize, yes, my childhood was, in fact, worth it. It really was. It had amazing moments, and it really made me feel stuff that for me was really important as a child, because I don't know. I just feel like there aren't these movies anymore. The movies, like, not just family movies, but something that you can learn with, something that you can teach, something that you can feel at home. Basically, you know, they just this whole nostalgic feel that I really got with Jumanji, and I watched it again, you know, and I realized why I liked it so much when I was a child. It was not just because it was fun. It had something more to it. It has awesome cheesy moments. It has awesome serious moments. It has awesome Robin Williams. Probably is just the fact that Robin Williams is such a good actor. I love the fact that his father is the hunter in the movie. You know, I think when I watched it for the first time when I was a kid, I really didn't get that. I got that afterwards when I was a kid, and then I remembered when I was watching the film again. So for me, Jumanji takes the #1 spot. It really is one of those films that just basically proves that my childhood was in fact worth it. You know, and we had The Lion King, and we had Aladdin, and we had so many other films, but Jumanji, you know, you don't really think that Jumanji would be one of those films, but it really, really is such a good film. That's basically my list. I did leave some movies out, and I explained to you why. I did not grow up with Patch Adams, for example. I only watched it a couple of years ago, and I actually liked it in some regards, but at the same time it's a bit illogical in some sense. So because I didn't watch it as a kid. If I watched it as a kid, I probably would have loved it, and I would have loved all the cheesy moments. But as a grown-up now, or wanting to be a grown-up or whatever, Patch Adams is not a film that really did connect with me because I didn't watch it when I was growing up, unfortunately. But it is a fun film, without a doubt. Aladdin. The reason why I didn't put Aladdin on this list is because I grew up with Aladdin, but not the original version. I'm Portuguese, and I grew up with the Brazilian version. But I'm not Portuguese from Brazil, I'm Portuguese from Portugal, so you can see how twisted that is. And I love the genie in that film. I love the Brazilian version of that. But I did not grow up with the Robin Williams version, so that's such a shame. I should really watch Aladdin and see Robin Williams' amazing role as the genie. I've seen scenes of it, and I thought, like, wow, this is amazing, but I have to see it properly, and that's why it's not on my top 5 most memorable Robin Williams movies list. But yeah, regardless, you know, there are so many movies. I could have put so many here, and I just decided to put the ones that had the most impact in my life growing up, and these are definitely the ones. So I hope you enjoyed my list, you know, and this is really such a shame to have this man pass away. We felt that we could have gained more with this man, you know, that he was able to be a comedian and do serious roles like he did, for instance, with Insomnia, Christopher Nolan's film. He really made us smile, and he really did give out some amazing serious roles. So anyway, this is basically my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. I have 3 reviews right here, so you can check them all out. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, and you can check out my Facebook, my blog, and my Twitter page below. There are the links. I really do hope you enjoyed my list, and remember, it's never, ever your fault.